everybody. Welcome back, dolls, to my channel, Sharon's Nail Boutique. This is a mint and pink ombre design with my own iridescent pink and mint matte mixed dots. I made a glitter mix that went really well with this set, and actually I had already made the glitter mix prior to this new client of mine coming, and she actually picked the pink and the mint color Vanessa. So I'm using Central Perk and I'm using Vanessa. Excuse me for being out of frame here. I'm just kind of doing like a S swoop of glitter through that thumb. On the opposite hand, I did it pink and did a S swoop. On each hand, I did the ombre nails. I did the ring finger in the full glitter nail. And on each hand, I started with Vanessa at the bottom, and then on the other hand, I started with Central Perk at the bottom and did the opposite colors blending down. So I hope you guys enjoy this set. I really loved how it turned out. Obviously, you know, it could have been better. It always can be. But I really was happy with the results, and she loved them as well. So can't really complain. Excuse the noise in the background, it's just my notifications. So the reason why I didn't share this whole other hand is because I was out of frame during most of it and I didn't even realize it. So what I did basically was I kept some of the parts where you could see me blending the Central Perk into Vanessa, and then I left the whole other hand in it so that you guys can see what it is I was doing on the other hand, just kind of with opposite colors. So I hope you guys enjoy it, and I hope you guys love how this set turned out as much as I do, because it came out really badass, and I really loved how this glitter just incorporated so well with this design. So I'm just doing that S swoop of glitter on the ombre, and then I will, you know, go to the other hand, which is this hand here. I'm starting off on the pinky, and I'm starting off with Central Perk now at the bottom, free edge area, and then I'll go in with Vanessa at the top. So bear with me here. Yeah, so I start at the free edge with Central Perk. I blend it up, and then I'll put Vanessa at that cuticle area. So I'm just blending that upwards, and when I'm ready to, I'll go back in with Vanessa and I'll blend it downwards from that cuticle area down over Central Perk. I really love how the mint colors and the pinks go together. She didn't want to use the cover pink, Mia Secret cover pink. She wanted to use the Central Perk, which I was fine with doing. I thought that they made such a good pair. So just putting a little more at that strength point area. And I will be doing the S swoop of glitter on these as well. And I will be capping as well. So, and this client, it took me a while to file down her old acrylic. And it's because she likes her nails thick. And the previous design, she had a gel or a regular nail polish design, which I personally prefer not to use nail polishes or gel polishes. I have them available. I just don't prefer to use them. So yeah, that's the story on that. But it took me a while to get through all her old acrylic. Even though I have my new drill too, it took me a while, but we got there in the end. And so now I'm just going in on the ring finger with the full glitter nail, making sure that I'm using small wet beads and that I'm flattening that glitter as I go, because this is a chunky glitter mix. So it's gonna take, you know, it's gonna take a little bit to cover it. So you want to make sure that you're working really wet and thin beads because you don't want a lot of bulk. On the other nail, when I went to cap, my acrylic dried too fast in like one spot, so I ended up having to file over that shape and reshape it quite a bit because it ended up turning out too thick. But like I said, we got there in the end, and that's all that matters. This set here took me, I want to say like 2.5 hours from start to finish. And it was mainly because I had to file off all that old acrylic. So let me know what you ladies and gentlemen think of this set in the comments below. I'm really excited that I've been able to bring you guys so much nail videos and different views and different angles. I'm really excited that you guys have been enjoying the videos. It means a lot to me to have all of your beautiful comments and words of wisdom, constructive criticism, anything that it might be, as long as it's not in a bullying fashion or really mean and nasty. Like, I'm open to any suggestions, whatever they may be, whether you want to see something different or a particular set or just whatever, you know, just, you could always talk to me about it, guys. I know that there are difficult times that we go through as females, even guys. Like, for me in particular, I have been battling depression for many years now. I went through a lot as a kid growing up. I had a really, really traumatic childhood. I know a lot of people do. And I'm not here to take away from anybody's experience or act like mine is worse or any of that. No kid should ever have to endure the kind of abuse that me and my siblings went through. I think that definitely helped in creating a lot of my depression. And I've had moments where I felt like I didn't want to be here anymore. And I could definitely fathom and understand people that go through that because, you know, when I was younger, I was 15 years old the first time I tried to commit suicide. And I just felt like my life was over. You know, I had tons of people around me, but not the right support that I needed. And I really wish I had had more support back then. You know, at 15, no kid should ever feel like at that age that, you know, that everything is so unfixable, that the only way out is to die. And I really wish that I had had someone to tell me that back then, you know. So if anyone on here is struggling with depression or suicidal thoughts or anything of that nature, definitely reach out to someone. Reach out to me. Reach out to me. If you have an issue, leave it in the comments below. I will gladly listen. I'm here for any one of that needs to talk. We're all human beings. We're all in this world together. We need to just kind of cohabitate and support each other. At the end of the day, color, creed, sexual preference, disability, none of that matters, right? Because we're all God's children. We are all beautiful in His eyes. We are all His kids. So essentially, we're all brothers and sisters. I know it sounds kind of crazy if you put it like that, but we're here to support each other. And I just don't understand where life went so wrong that people have to tear each other down all the time. So I'm here for you guys. If you need to talk, just let me know. So I guess I did the whole set and I've been talking the whole time. So this is the thumb that I did the whole thumb of Central Perk. And I just go in with my glitter and do the S swoop, but in the opposite direction. And as you can see, you know, as I was talking through the nails, that's the ombres that I did, and then that full glitter nail. And then I'll come back to encapsulate everything. So I really want you guys to see how I do that as well, especially with the glitter nail, because you want to start off, when you have like a bulky glitter nail, you want to make sure that your brush is really wet. And when you go into your glitter, just want to make sure you're picking up tiny wet acrylic clear beads. And then you dip into the glitter. That's why I pour some of my mix out on the napkin right there, so I don't have to go into the bag and, you know, kind of mess up the glitter that's all in there. So I'm going back and I'm finishing these ombres. Oh, I guess I didn't do them all the way. So I'm going back and I'm doing those ombres. I'm doing it with Vanessa, and this is very much like Apple Shine. It reminds me so much of Apple Shine from CJP. I just really love this color. So I'm now going in with that S swoop of glitter again, and it's going the opposite direction from the opposite hand. And I like to do that because I like the effect that it gives when you put your hands together and it's kind of like cohesive. One's going one way and the other one's going that way, and it kind of makes it look like a heart if you stick them together. So just finishing up those ombres, doing the Vanessa at the cuticle area on the pointer finger, just making sure that that is even, that my side walls are tucked, that my cuticle area is nice and flush and thin the way it should be, that it has enough of a strength point. You don't want to do too much because, like I said, we're still coming into cap. So I'm going to do my S swoop of glitter, and then I will move on after I finish with the Vanessa. So I don't want to put too much because I still have to cap, like I said. So I'm just cleaning up those sidewall areas. These are basically, she came to me with already the shape and stuff, so the shaping is not me all the way. I just kind of reshaped them as they were already. So I'm just finishing up with that glitter, and then I will make sure that everything looks good so that before I go into cap, I don't have any issues, underlying issues that I need to fix or anything like that. So my husband's actually going to be building me a new suction fan, guys, so I'm pretty excited about that because the one I have here built into my table isn't really doing what I need it to do. So, and I guess that's because the fan that comes attached to it is not really much of a fan at all. It's like there's like barely any motor. It's like a tiny motor, you know. So now I'm going into cap the nails, and I'm just making sure that I'm picking up a good sized bead and that it's wet enough, and I'm making sure I'm going down those side walls properly, making sure that they're tucked and that they're smooth and they're gripping those edges solidly. I can't explain it too well, but when you go down the side wall areas, you want to make sure that it's completely tucked and coming down those side walls smoothly. So that's all I'm doing. So see how I wet my brush and I go over the glitter? That's to make sure that I don't get like no dry patches in there. So I'm just covering that glitter now, making sure that my bead is wet. And yeah, so I'm totally out of shot here. I'm just trying to make sure that that glitter is capped, and obviously you know when your glitter is capped because it'll all look matte. And then obviously when you top coat it, it won't be like that anymore. I am extremely sorry for being out of shot that whole frame. I don't even know why I left this particular hand in for encapsulating. I should have just took it out altogether. But I don't think it was this glitter nail that I made thick by accident. I think it was on the opposite hand. This one went fine for me. So, seems capped, so I move on to the middle finger now. So I'm just trying to stay in frame. I don't know how the heck I keep moving out of shot. Jesus, girl, you need to get your shit together because this is just disappointing. I thought you was trying to bring them different, better angles, and you're just out of frame, girl. Shelly, Jesus, it's like you just have been like insulting me left and right every chance you get. My God. So, I guess I just finish with that middle one, and then I'll cap the pointer. Girl. Oh my It's like every time I think it's going to be in frame, then I pull the hand out of frame. I get so excited to see it in frame, and then it gets pulled out again. So just making sure that my side walls are clean, making sure that my glitter is capped, putting another bead at that free edge just to make sure it is looking how it should. I'll put another one right up at that cuticle area, make sure it's patted out around the cuticle, nice and thin. And then I'll cap this now. So now I'm just capping that thumb, just making sure that, all right, watch how I go down the sides of this thumbnail. See that? How I'm making sure they're gripping the sides? Like, that means that you're not going to see, like, any gaps at those sidewall areas. Like, the acrylic will be completely attached to that nail. And trust me, you can mess up sidewalls. Like, you can. Like, it used to happen to me, especially with square nails. So, just finishing up on the pinky. I start, see what I mean by like keeping your brush wet and going down those side areas, because you know the center is going to do what it naturally does. It's going to come down with those side areas, but you know, especially with stiletto nails, you want to make sure that your sides are tucked really good, because the shape of that nail depends on it, you know. So I'm just adding a little bit more, not too much, just making sure that that glitter is fully capped. You see how, like, I dip into my clear, I wet my brush, and it, like, once it kind of polymizes, the liquid on your brush just helps you kind of pull it down. So this is the nail that I made too thick, and watch guys, this is freaking terrible. I picked up too much of a bead. It polymized way too fast. And that was totally my fault. That's just hideous. Freaking thick as hell. Thick ass nails. So I move on to the middle one now, making sure that I don't grab too thick of a bead. Oh god, that shit was funny. Yeah, so that's the nail that I was explaining, that I had to go back in and like really file a lot because of how thick it freaking came out. But it happens to the most seasoned of professionals. It can happen to anybody. It's just an accident. It can be fixed. It's not the end of the world. You know what I mean? And just add a little more clear to that free edge just to make sure it's all even with each other. Oh, I guess I didn't need to. So I go in on the pointer now, just capping, wetting my brush, tucking those around the cuticle, around the side walls, and pulling the rest of that down. So you literally can accomplish this with one bead, as long as your brush is wet enough and you're pulling your bead gently and patting it, and you get the hang of these things after a little bit of doing it. Like, as long as you continue to practice and practice and practice, you're only gonna get better. I mean, the nails I do now look nothing alike to the nails that I did in the beginning. I mean, I was always decent. I just wasn't always as good as I am now. I've been pretty, you know, it's been pretty good for me the last year or so. Like, my nails have been just coming out better and better and better. And that, like I said, that happens with time. It's like, you know, riding a bike, you're not gonna forget how to do it. You're just gonna pick up that bike and remember. So it's basically the same for nails. Once you learn how to do nails, you don't really forget. I mean, yeah, you could be a little rusty or whatever and have your ratios off a little bit, but for the most part, when you learn how to do nails, it's not something that you typically forget how to do. If that makes any sense to anybody. So now I'm just going in with my new drill. That's my new drill, guys. I got it from my nail supply place, and I paid $100 and something for it. It came with the piece that hangs, the Dremel, the hand piece, the foot pedal, and then obviously the adapters or whatever. But this thing works so fast. It literally has taken off like probably almost an hour off my times. This set, however, was hard because of the thickness of her previous nails. But like I said, we got there in the end. Had I been using my old file, it probably would have took even longer. So I'm just going in here with my tapered cone alloy, what is it? It's a carbide bit, and it's tapered. There's no safety part, so you have to be very careful when you're going around the cuticle and the sidewall areas. You don't want to cut your client. This should never be a painful or uncomfortable experience. It should only be fun, and it shouldn't be painful. It should be comfortable. So I'm just going around, you know, the main areas that need debulking, obviously, near the cuticle, the sidewalls, and then through the bulk of the nail. I go around those sidewalls first, the cuticle area, and then I'll do the bulk of the nail. So I move on to the left hand, and I just start with the pinky and work my way down with the debulking. And like I said, remember I told you this thick glitter nail, so that's the one that took me a while to file because there was so much acrylic on it. I had to debulk it. Obviously, I'm not going to send her out of here with nails like that. So that's all I'm doing here, guys. I'm just finished filing. I left these parts in for you guys because I don't typically leave these clips in, but I wanted you guys to see kind of like the whole process again. So don't forget to hashtag more love, less hate, hashtag Celeste Nail Designs. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that share, like, and subscribe button, and hit that notification bell so you can be reminded every time I upload. I hope you guys enjoyed this one, guys. I am truly sorry about being out of shot during some of it. I'm trying to get this right for you guys. I'm trying to find the best angle possible so that I don't have to worry about my hands moving in different directions. You'll be able to see the whole process, even if I do move from one spot to another. So I'm just trying to find what works for us, guys, okay? All you see me here doing is I'm going underneath, and I am filing out like any acrylic that got stuck under there. And I am filing those sidewall edges smooth. You see how there's like kind of ridges or lumps on the sides there? I'm just cutting those out and making those sidewall underneath areas smooth. See on that pointer how it's kind of rigid right there? And I don't like to use my hand file for that because then it like cuts into the shape. So I just turn the hand upside down and I file them off. And that seemed to be the easiest way to do it. So I hope you guys enjoy. I love you all so much. Thank you all so much for your continued support. And I'll see you in my next one, dolls. Bye.